Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2 match. We've got a very exciting match for you guys today. We got a fight for first place in their division, Sphere Affinity, with GFE taking on Forfeiters Are Us with Humbugh. And let's get that nonsense off of your screen, GFE, so we can actually commentate a match. My name is Willa J. Bradley, and I'm joined by Tracy M. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Willard?
I'm doing just fine. I'm up. I'm awake. I didn't oversleep. I got coffee. I'm ready for some Randomizer action. We got another Yoshi sprite, and I'm ecstatic to see this little lad come back because he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and of course, if we've learned anything about Randomizer is we know nothing because anything can happen here.
Yeah, for sure. For those that don't know, Randomizer has two things to it. It's an enemy shuffle. So enemies are going to be displaced throughout the world of Hyrule in very awful and wacky locations. We also have boss shuffle, full boss shuffle, which means that we'll see each of the bosses in the game, and 3 of those bosses will show up at least twice to make up for the bosses in GT. So we could get 2 Trinexes, we could get 2 Gold Stairs, or we could just get vanilla double Armos, double Amulas, etc.
Although for the runners, we hope we don't actually see all the bosses because hopefully there might be a pendant dungeon or 2 that they don't have to clear. But yeah, certainly all the bosses are going to be available in some location, and like you said, 3 bosses will repeat, and it could be 2 Trinexes. So that'd be fun. Well, fun for us, maybe not so much fun for the runners.
It's an exciting matchup because there's actually currently 6 teams out of 8 in this division with 9 points. So, and these 2 are, tied for first right now. So the winner of this matchup will either take sole possession of first place, or will tie another team that's also sitting currently at 3-1, double dippers. So should be exciting to see how this division evens out after this week, leading into Mystery Week next week. And it looks like we're off.
Both starting a Sanctuary, grabbing the 20 rupees. Money not the worst thing they could find. At this point, they really want to see some bombs, though. And we immediately see map checks. I believe I just saw 3 regular crystals in the light world.
Yep. Very, very pleasant light world. You generally like to see light world crystals because those are generally the easier dungeons. Of course, desert can be kind of because of the amount of items it requires to complete. But they're small dungeons, so it's good to see them there. Which means we're gonna have 3 pendants in the dark world, which means we could get rare scenarios like non-required Cane of Samaria if there's a pendant T-Rock and Meyer. That's always a fun one. Or flippers not being required, stuff like that. All right, just hearts for our tier 1 triple. There's a fish there. That's one of the nice things about.
Oh, did you see that? Lumberjack has a glove.
Well, guess we've seen Aghanim's Tower today.
Yep.
Well, honestly, if I'm one of these runners, I'd be ecstatic. Unless it's, some low percent scenario. Because this usually means that, hey, you're going to get the boots relatively early. It'd be funny, though. You could still, just end up getting Dark World access, and those would just end up being super late mints. But that's not gonna. There's no way.
No. Let's give him something nice. Give him some boots early. That'd be nice. I know that's the item you always like. So let's do it. Let's get some boots.
It's nice going fast, though. At the same time, in this mode, maybe going fast is not the ideal scenario. At least not without a sword, because otherwise you're gonna be running straight into Chain Chomps and Emos and Lionels.
So Humbugh, yeah, going and resetting to Link's house. Just getting some arrows there. Let's see if he does Cack Village from the opposite direction.
Okay, I was like, where is GFE going? He's going back to get that fish. Cool thing is, if you take the fish to the bottle vendor in Kakariko, he will throw big 20. He'll throw a full magic jar, 8 bombs, 10 arrows, and I think a green rupee as well. So this is a nice, easy way to get some, just to fill up all your ammo right off the bat. So, way to go. It's also funny because a lot of times you'll find a fish just chilling in Kakariko. It's kind of one of the nice things about Randomizer. This is like its shining moment. Is this fish?
Yeah, weird how the fish gets shuffled in with the enemies. We're also going to see the cuckoos shuffled in too. So, and the other fun one is those little fake swords that you find in the Lost Woods are kind of all over the place too.
Oh, I found the master sword. Oh no, that's not it.
Just
My
kidding.
favorite is oh wow. Speaking of, well, there's the flippers. I was gonna say if the little master swords ever like replace an enemy. Oh wow, and the hook shot and a bow.
Wow, a lot of nice early items.
Starting to open up. Okay, I wanted to say before I got interrupted by whatever that item was. If like a fake master sword like shuffles with an enemy that's in the water, it just immediately like falls in the water and then a fish jumps out like instantly. It's great. Well, flippers early puts Zora in logic.
Yeah. Zora in logic, of course, that usually happens when there's no money available. So, we also have that hook shot, which will open up things in Death Mountain once we get access to it. Right now, they don't even have bad access, let alone logical access.
It's also kind of scary because the hook shot and flippers right off the bat, like,
and a mirror.
A nice mirror. It's a good find as well. Especially with that glove at Lumberjack, I'm already thinking about like doing Aga and swimming up the broken bridge to hookshot across.
Oh,
That's
sure.
what's going through my mind, like instantly when I see those two items.
And a lamp. Okay, so this could be a Dark World Aga as well, but we haven't seen a sword yet, so we don't know. Although, you know, with the glove being sitting there on the Lumberjack, actually pretty likely, because who knows where that other glove is. If that other glove is somewhere deep in the Dark World, then it's going to have to be Aga for Dark World. And Aga's Tower is going to be Randomizer Shuffle too, although Aga, of course, will be Aga. So it could be an easier tower, could be a harder tower.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, especially with like Ganon's Tower, you never know. You can go upstairs and get nothing but popos. And like, it's just like really easy, real comfortable. Oh, well,
there's the boots. Yay.
Thanks, kid.
Although, like you said, boots without sword is a little bit of a not as great, because yeah, you got to watch out for those enemies. You can't run right into them anymore.
The amount of times I've like gone running through Spiral Cave like directly into a Lionel or something.
Yep.
And you know, with only 3 hearts, there are certainly some enemies out there that will do you in with one punch.
Yeah, the seed being generous with a lot of nice items early, but not a whole lot of health yet. Just some pieces of heart. We're still on 3 hearts.
Well, I would only assume that next up we'll be seeing the South Shore area. Plenty of items coming up there. Good chance we'll find some help along the way.
And GFE, I don't think he saw the item ahead of time. He's just going to blind check it. Going to be very happy he did, because he'll save a little bit of time. I tend to like the blind checks better, just because they're just certain items that you don't really want to go back for when you see them. But if you're already there, you might just pick up.
You see like a heart container or a mail upgrade or like a 300 rupee, you're like, I know I need this, but do I need this? I'm actually like generally for me, if I go for the blind check, it's usually if Kakariko's barren.
Yeah.
But Kakariko was kind of stacked, so the fact that he went for it anyway, it's like, oh, cool. Because it would have been really easy to run over and check because he had the boots. But saving the seconds. So we still have like well over an hour left of this race, so.
Yeah, nice having having the mirrors here is very nice because we can just delete those blocks and just dip in here once instead of the usual twice.
Yeah, it's funny. He has both the mirror and the hook shot, so there's 2 options to get through those blocks. $20 underwater. Not gonna be what we're looking for exactly to get us set up for Zora, but GFE thought about it. He was thinking, Agana's gotta have it. Agana's gotta have the goods, but reluctant. Going for the chest density starting out here.
Yeah, 5 items in mini Moldorm, or whatever. We actually a couple of Moldorms, as opposed to 1 item in Agina's cave. No surprise he decides to go this direction.
Wait for it. If you just go on the right side, you can hook. Okay, that's actually
nice.
Never mind. I like that idea better.
I like that. That was really well done.
there's that heart container we were needing.
Oh, I found like 4
for a
pieces.
refill.
Yay. But not a great mini Moldorm, although considering how like they say he walked in with 3 hearts, now he's got 5, so that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, we take those. Now there's no enemies except for Ganon that will one-shot him, so that's helpful. Just a big 20 up on Lake Hylia. Oh, watch out, there's a Beamos in the water. Yeah, the only downside about getting flippers this early is Houlihan play, at least at the moment, with their given items, is not an option, so...
Yeah, the other setup needing a glove, so... And the most standard setup needing no flippers. Can't do it at this point.
Nah. Huh? Maybe we'll find 300 rupees from the hobo. Nope,
or a bow.
Just got a bow. Okay. That's
Which
cool.
is a little less interesting in Randomizer since we don't necessarily need it to get to the back of Eastern and only need it for the statue and pod.
Yeah, and with that, combined with the lamp, we could potentially clear all of Eastern Palace, depending on what boss is there. Without a sword or a hammer, though, like even if it was like Moldorm or something, we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It almost would have to be Armos at this point. Something you could kill with a bow. I guess Vitreous might be killable, although without silvers, trying to do just arrows this early. Not sure how many arrows it actually. Yeah, 30 might be pushing. 30 is probably enough, but you miss a few, and yeah, not gonna work.
I feel like you'd have to like use all of your bombs.
Yeah, that
and
would.
all
Yeah.
your arrows, and you'd still be just like probably short anyway. But yeah, at this point we have only a couple checks left here in Zora's area. We have the waterfall, the 2 there, and then Zora's Ledge, and then Zora himself. Then we, there is all of potential Hyrule Castle, and then the East Palace area. Nice water walk from GFE, and allow him to travel a little bit quicker through this section.
Humbugh also doing the water walk.
That's the unfortunate thing is with the water walk, if you have the flippers, as soon as you walk down that shallow water or get shot by a Beamos, you're swimming again, buddy. That's funny. Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
And there's the other piece of the puzzle. All right, so we're a sword away from going at least to the Dark World, but I can't imagine these players wanting to make that decision until we at least see a Moon Pearl.
Yeah, that cape, though, is a nice item for Randomizer. There's definitely rooms to sometimes show up, and a nice half magic that I suspect they'll pick up. Like right there, with the 1 heart, I'm not going to deal with that thing. It 2 hearts damage on green mail. I only have 1 heart, so let's just put the cape on to go around it.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
yeah,
crap,
that's the thing
no.
Oh, no!
Oh, ouch.
That hurts. I was gonna say, it's like you can use the cape to your heart's content because you're gonna get a refill with that half magic. But GFE not gonna get that, so let's see if Zora ends up having any sort of progression. Because that might tip the scales a little bit in Humbugh's favor.
Oh, there's the
yeah,
other
you're gonna have to
glove.
go get that.
Yep.
All right, well,
Looks like GFE is heading that way.
Gonna be the mitts over on that lumberjack. So, I honestly was not really expecting that, but here we are.
No, neither was I.
Okay, well, we have Death Mountain accessible now. We have Back of Escape accessible now. It's like we're gonna see maybe Bonk Rocks into either Death Mountain or Back of Escape for Humbugh.
Just like Back of Escape first, and then maybe do the Bonk Rocks into the mountain afterwards.
Dude, that green Tektite, that was nice looking. The one that jumped out of the bush. That was
yeah,
cool.
the color palettes get kind of goofy when we have Randomizer, so.
Alright, oh, nice. Another heart container. The other green rupee, and just...
Okay, well, I mean, the heart containers, they're still low, and it is still Randomizer, so the extra heart container is nice, but definitely not what he's hoping to find there.
Did Humbugh skip? Oh, I guess Humbugh did skip Hobo for now, so gonna be holding out. Gonna be missing out on that bow for the time being.
Now with the progressive bows that we have in V31, he maybe just gets a different bow, and you know, not nearly as much bow locked in these seeds, so might not need it for a while.
Like you were saying earlier, bow really only stops you from getting to Palace of Darkness's boss, whomever that may be. Easy way you can tell that Humbug didn't have the bow is, I believe, anytime you save and quit, the game will automatically select your top left item.
Yes.
And no bow, so the next one is the hookshot. But you are getting up that Death Mountain. I guess this is a logically smart play. I mean, you did just get the pieces of the puzzle to go up Death Mountain. You know, we got 3 available items, and then potentially 2 items available in Tower of Hera. No way to beat the boss. Actually, don't. At least not for
Humbug has nothing. Yeah, he has nothing to beat anything right now.
Literally nothing.
But yeah, let's shout out that lamp for a second. Not having to do dark rooms in Randomizer is definitely a major plus here.
Yeah, and especially, you know, saving the old man up on Death Mountain. You never know, you could get some awful enemies in there. And we've seen in the past in Randomizer races people getting stuck in there, because if you happen to die in there, it's going to spawn you right back where you met the old man. So you're basically locked into that until you get it right, because you certainly can't go back.
Now, just a piece of heart on Spectral Rock and just 20 rupees.
Oh yeah, we do have Hookshot. We can go to East Death Mountain. That's got Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. Plenty of items over there. Plenty of opportunities to get that Dark World access. Now, it's weird, because with that, I wasn't expecting that glove after getting Cape and Lamp. I was like, all right, I'm all on this Aga play coming up. But now there's still an opportunity. We could find Hammer and Moon Pearl while we're up here.
We could. And if that happens, I probably delay the Aga play just a little bit longer. We know eventually they're going to have to do it, because that's where their mitts are going to be. But if you can have a little bit better equipment, in particular a little better sword, although that makes a bigger difference in a normal seed, because those enemies don't die very quickly to a fighter sword or even a master sword. Here we don't know what enemies they're going to be. Could be a bunch of really easy popos or something, or you know, we see a lot of little mini Helmosaurs. Those seem to pop up a lot, so it might be not quite as hard.
Using these bombs to kill these levers. We did see our pendant dungeons for this seed. We got a pendant up at Turtle Rock, and we got a pendant at... I definitely know Swamp Palace had one. I think that was our green. And then it was either Mire or Ice. I couldn't... No. I think Mire was a Pyramid Fairy Crystal. So I want to say Ice. Chat's saying Ice. All right, we're in there. Oh, and we did see that Moon Pearl over in Paradox Cave, so we are a hammer away from Dark World access. But yeah, we are going to have to do Aga at some point. And until our first sword might just be in the Dark World.
Now looks like we're going to get a Harapot play over here. Yeah, I actually like this a lot better when you do have the big key, because you know you're not going to leave the big chest behind. It just saves a little bit of time for you if you do it quickly enough.
Yeah, that's always risky. I feel like the amount of time... Oh my god, this thief is really... so long bombs! Alright, well, that's unfortunate. The worst thing is, like, even if you, like, switch to Cape, the thieves will still hit you.
Oh, nice.
Alright, well, I think...
A flute! Oh, there you go.
Well, it's not really super useful right now. GFE takes a tumble trying to get this nice little lineup to go right through the bumper, basically, but...
Yep, and I did see, we missed it. Humbugh got an ice rod somewhere up there in the Death Mountain area, so that's a really nice find. We don't know where or when Trinux may or may not show up, so not having to worry about that, because you already have the ice rod is very nice.
Yeah, we're basically just a fire rod away from being technically able to beat every boss, and that was a vanilla Moldorm.
That's boring.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, that was Moldorm, and GFE has no weapons to beat him, so he's just gonna mirror on out and go ahead and check the basement to see if there's anything there.
All right, well, we are kind of running low on checks at this point. I mean, we still have all of East Palace area, including Eastern Palace, left to do. We have all of the front of Hyrule Castle left to do. Good chance we're either going to find a sword or a hammer at some point. And I'm going to assume that we're going to be finding that sword, and Dark World's going to be our answer via Aga Tower.
That's what I think is going to happen.
They don't just give capes away for free. Like, come on.
Yeah, when you get a lamp and a cape early, you're just expecting to find that sword to have to do the fighter sword Aga play. Just not a fun thing to do, but yeah. And in this case, could be, like I said, might not be nearly as bad as usual. Looks like Humbugh is always going to he'll go get his bow.
Oh gosh, that hurts.
Oh,
the item is going to be actually on the boss, so that's an unfortunate tile room play on GFE's side.
Yeah, it's something that you wouldn't normally see, because normally you're going to have something that can kill a boss up there, and not today.
I'm sure he was hoping for a sword or hammer or something. While Humbugh over on the right side picks up their bow. Interesting that they flew it all the way back just to check Hobo. But I guess it's one of those things that you wouldn't want to isolate, especially something that's heavily in logic right now. But we are going to get that Eastern Palace and East Palace play. See what Sahasrah's is holding on for us today. Sword or hammer? It's basically all we're looking for at this moment.
Okay, so check in the closet.
You've got a sword.
There it is.
That was easy. Man, imagine if you had gone here before Death Mountain.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you go into Eastern or do you go straight to Aga? And he resaved and quit, so we're not going into Eastern quite yet.
Well, I mean, just having the mitts would be nice. I don't know, this is a tough play, because, like, once you get to the Dark World, well, once you beat Aggie, you just go get the mitts, and then you don't have to do the weird hook shot across the broken bridge anymore. But without that hammer, we're still kind of limited in our Dark World options. But that does open up, like, the Mire area as well, and Desert, since we do have the lamps, so as soon as you beat Aga, like, basically the entire game is open for you.
Yeah, which isn't always the greatest thing, because there's so many choices, and, not that many. I mean, at this point, we're not looking for that many items. More swords would be nice. Seems like every Randomizer seed I've dealt with or watched have late swords, which is not fun.
No, that's not great. At least we got early hookshot, which is generally nice for Randomizer, because there are a lot of enemies that die instantly to hookshots, like mini Moldorans.
Oh, for sure. Hookshot's probably my favorite item, to be perfectly honest. It's just
Same.
So versatile.
Boots and hookshot, and like, give me those two, and I'm pretty happy.
I didn't see this before on Humbugh's side. He probably did check it. I saw some powder sitting there on the floating island.
Yep.
So fetch quest for us, but at least it's the one fetch quest item that actually has other uses. Randomizer be a little bit different. You never know when those anti-fairies might come up, so you can't quite count on as many of the locations. But then you might find one in a place where when you absolutely need it that you don't normally have it, and just be like, okay, yeah, there you go. Let's just powder this anti-fairy, get a nice refill.
Yeah, and that would be a nice thing to have, like, early on, especially while these guys are still at pretty low health. Like, 6 hearts is not enough, especially with only green mail. The interesting thing is, once you beat Aga and get those mitts, you could immediately go up and get that powder. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people would want to go straight up to Dark World or to Dark Death Mountain as soon as.
Well, there are 6 other items. And Turtle Rock right there. You can check and see what the requirement is for it. But of course, the runners, being that it's a pendant dungeon, are going to hope they never have to touch Turtle Rock.
Oh, for sure. It's kind of the scary thing about having already, like, mirror and flippers. It's like, that green pendant swamp.
Yeah.
It's calling me. And you know there's going to be a sword in there. There's always a sword in swamp.
Sure seems that way.
All right, what enemy did the ball and chain guard get swapped to this time? It's an Igor.
Oof. Well, good thing we have that bow. I mean, it's the regular kind, so you don't need a bow to kill it. But fighter sword on an Igor, not fun.
Yeah, they take quite a few hits. All right, we are seeing Agana play while Humbug is making the dive into Aga Tower. At this point, for Humbug, all we have left is Eastern. Like, that's it. I'm pretty sure that's all they're leaving behind.
He hasn't checked Agina yet, but... Or has he? Did I miss that?
No, yeah.
Well, it's a 20 rupees anyway, so he might never get back there.
It's a pretty common location to skip.
Yeah, for sure. It's so far out of the way.
It's not as bad in this seed because they have, boots and flute, but
Yes.
still, it's at least when you do that, you can see what's on Desert Ledge as well. So, and they know that once they get the mitts, they can go get that item. So if that had been something useful, the play would have been probably a little bit better. Dodge that mimic. All right, let's see how awful this Aga Tower is. This Dark Maze has been like Chain Chomp Central before, but that fire bar is in a very precarious location.
That fire bar is definitely not in a nice spot. Okay, let's see if GFE goes over to Eastern. No, he's pulling out the flute, so probably not.
Oh my god. Vimos in the dark.
Oh, it's a terrible spot for that.
There's just no way you can prepare for that. Ugh.
Now, GFE gonna go ahead and check all the items here in the castle, and will probably make his way up Aga Tower as well.
So one thing to consider is, it might not work on every enemy, but using like the Quake medallion to turn them into the little, whatever those little bag enemies are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd say it's a pretty effective because I think even in Randomizer, well, especially in Randomizer, if there's no like health shuffle or anything, they always have 1 HP, so they go down real quick. Nice ice rod shot.
Yeah, I like this ice beam usage we're seeing on Humbug's side. That Gibdo in the previous room, not another one of those enemies you don't really want to have to deal with this early, especially with a fighter sword.
Gosh, this is.
Yeah, I like your idea of just using Quake here. I think you're onto something there.
I don't know how effective it is against like Gibdos and stuff, but.
Okay, then we get the rooms that I never thought made a lot of sense, where you put like 3 really difficult enemies, but you just walk right through.
All right, what boss is gonna be up here? It's
yeah, spoilers, we don't change the Aga bosses.
I feel like if you take him out of his little arena, he's gonna explode the video game, so it's better safe than sorry. Now, it would be cool if you could get Aga 1 and Aga 2 to like swap places or something.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
It'd make Randomizer a little bit easier if you get up to the top of GT and then, well, bam, just Aga 1, and you're like, oh, well, alright.
It would make it a little bit longer, but since we do get the same Aga fights on both sides, it would be even for both runners.
Yeah, a lot of times people also say, well, we got to Aga 2, which means the Randomizer part of the game is over. That's technically not true. For some reason in Randomizer, if you hit Aghanim with one of the reflected energy balls, before he gets a chance to shoot, like the real Aga, before he gets a chance to shoot, he just doesn't shoot. He just stands there and looks at you like, really? Did you just do that to me? It's kind of an annoying aspect of Randomizer, because it's like, it just makes the fight last a little bit longer, because you're working with 1 less attack.
And we did see straight away 2 blue balls over on Humbug's side, so hopefully that'll be it.
Well, now the question for Humbug is, do you like, just immediately go hookshot across the broken bridge? Do you go to Catfish? Do you go to Pod? I mean, he has everything he can do to clear Pod minus killing the boss. That's 5 potential items sitting out there, so...
Yeah, still needs that hammer.
And there's Aga. See you, buddy.
Lots of choices with that mirror. With those boots in that mirror, I could definitely see routing over through the North Dark World areas. Because a lot of things you could check that are otherwise out of the way. The graveyard ledge. I don't know if we'll go to catfish, but you could do. You could actually do something like King's Tomb before actually getting the mitts because he has that mirror.
Yeah, honestly, I think just going straight for the route towards Lumberjack is probably the better play.
Yep.
Especially because all you have to do is run back to the portal and get over to Pod. But yeah, the only downside is if you don't do Pod now, when are you going to do it? I guess hold out hope for a hammer over in Village of Outcasts or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to save it for the hammer. Oh my god.
It's funny because it's like muscle memory. You pick up a rock to go throw at the Ropa that's there, but nope, big yellow spike. Sorry. Not going to be very effective. That's the fun part about Randomizer. Is it breaks your muscle memory so many times, oftentimes for the worse. Well, GFE still a little bit behind here going up Aga Tower, but we've really just opened up the game, and there is still plenty of video game left. GFE contemplating what to use to take out this Gibdo. I really wonder if Quake works on Gibdos.
Yeah, well, there's an Ether.
No,
Ether does. Because I use that in Skullwoods all the time.
It's a pretty good trick. Medallions, especially with this half magic early, are very, very nice in Randomizer seats. Ah. Ah.
Oh my god.
Just hit him.
Yeah, that enemy, usually you just run away from. I don't know very many people that go and kill that thing in its normal location, so.
I know some people will stand still and let him steal a shield, but that's about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, he's got another heart, which means nothing here is going to one-shot him, which is nice. Well, we have Humbugh heading up to King's Tomb Graveyard Ledge, so these are two pretty quick checks when you're rounding this way. Kind of the nice side about having to route this way is getting these checks done, because they're kind of not convenient. Yep. Ooh.
And a fire rod. That's a nice find.
Well, that means we can get to the boss of Skull Woods. Whatever's there. That's the thing is with Randomizer, you never know if you're ready to dive a dungeon. And I feel like people will prefer to clear overworld first before committing to dungeons.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
At this point now, we have the means to kill any boss. We have all the items we need. Except for maybe like a sword, which would help.
Yeah, I mean, the fighter sword will work. By work, I mean work really hard to kill things.
I mean, like, if we found a Trinex, I'd say we're not ready for it yet.
No. Yeah, I think a fighter sword Trinex with a... Because, you know, usually if you're fighting Trinex, the worst case scenario, you're going to have your hammer, at least. Mm-hmm. Not in this case. We don't know where that hammer's going to be.
The fighter sword is doing its best. Yeah, it is. It's trying. Man, hopefully we find a sword or that hammer soon. Humbugh not even seen what was on Bumper Ledge? Just going straight for these mitts?
I didn't see it. We could go back into that portal and just check right then and there.
Yeah. Just seems kind of weird. Alright, well, let's talk about what we're looking for. Now that we have these mitts, we just need that Cane of Samaria. We might need a Bombos to get into Misery Mire. We don't know yet. We still need that hammer, and we need another sword, so... You know,
we're not that far from a potential go mode here.
Yeah.
But the entire world is open at this point. We can pretty much go anywhere except for a couple of hammer locked locations.
And that's the thing is, like, if I'm these players, I'm hoping for a hammer go mode just because of how much hammer locks. No Pendant T-Rock.
Right.
Hardly any of Pendant Swamp. Like, only, like, 90% of Pendant Swamp is locked out. But, yeah. Thing is then, generally, like, hammer's gonna show up somewhere stupid like T-Rock or something. Or not T-Rock, sorry. Like Ice Palace.
Or another stupid location that can get runners in this mode. Thieves Town, given that you don't have to actually go grab the maiden for the boss to show up, you could end up leaving an item behind in the back. If you have, like, especially if you have like a front, if you get a front 4 where you get 3 items and you don't get an item on the boss, you don't really want to go into the back, but.
Now, I'm not a big fan of Randomizer, at least racing it. Unfortunate death from Humbug. That floating style will do you in. Should just bop him with the fire rod until he dies. I'm not a big fan of racing Randomizer, which is why I did not race this week. Teammates are covering for me.
Yeah, good teammates.
But yeah, very good teammates. But I am I'm a big fan of Randomizer Thieves Town just because of what you're saying. Get 3 items in the front, get the 4th item on the boss, go on my very merry way.
Yeah, ideally, yeah. That's a very nice when that happens. We have a shot at getting a crystal here, as Humbug is just going to go to the back now.
I want to point out that Humbug or GFE got like a really cool frame roll through that fire bar. Probably because of that spin speed that he was rocking, which was hilarious. He just was like, I don't care. I'll just walk through this. No big deal. I know what I'm doing. I'm in charge.
And I like the GFE is going to go ahead and decides to pick up a potion while he's doing his Dark World North checks. You never know when you might run into a boss and be, say it's Cold Stare and you just don't have enough magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good. If there's any mode that you should have potions for, it's this one, because you never know. Because like the worst is like you're in Desert Palace and you use magic to get to the boss, and then it's Cold Stare and you don't have enough magic. Like it's not fair.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's not how. What was I supposed to do? I was destined for failure.
And who are we gonna see?
Armos.
Oh my god! This has got to be the worst location for anything. Just that conveyor belt just screws everything up.
This arena needs to be like just 1 tile bigger in every direction. The upside is you could just slash Armos Knights into the spikes and do some extra damage there. I mean, that's. Wonder if that. Oops. See ya.
Yeah, a little bit weird screen scrolling there.
I love it. Just like they really don't want to be in this fight anymore. Dude, we are a couple arrows away from getting our first crystal.
Oh, he gets through it. Okay, 2.5 hearts to spare. He was fine.
Easy game. Look how happy Yoshi is. He's so happy.
Oh yeah, he is. That's a fun sprite.
It's very fun. All right, 35 minutes in, we got our first crystal, and Humbug takes a slight lead here. GFE not too far behind, gonna grab his mitts and probably meet him as well. I'm assuming he grabbed that fire rod, right? I couldn't imagine him not getting that fire rod.
No, he was in that area. We'll have to wait. Yeah, he's got it. Right. Okay.
Oh, he's taking that bomb with him.
Okay, the bunny spray for Yoshi is absolutely adorable.
The little walking egg.
The little walking egg. That's great. I mean, shout outs to the sprite developers. I mean, the details of when they get the bunny sprites and, just some of the little details of when they hold items up above their head and stuff it's really what makes the sprites. It's not the sprites themselves, it's all those extra details.
Oh, for sure. Like the pug, whenever he's praying in front of Desert Palace and like tilts his head like dogs do, and it's just like, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, shout outs to all of our sprite makers. We have like hundreds of sprites and growing. And like if you check into like the sprite channel on the main Discord, there's always new sprites in the works, and it's pretty fantastic. I need to work on mine. I just need to not be lazy. I've always wanted. Isn't
it Garfield that you use?
My boy, a good friend of mine, my boy Foiler. He made the Garfield and Homer sprite for me.
Nice.
So shout outs to him. And yeah, those are my 2 favorites, with Yoshi following close to the behind, and then Luigi after Yoshi. The Luigi sprite's really good too.
So I
think these guys getting bopped by this Murderdactyl, which, despite its appearance, is in fact the heavy hitter itself. It's interesting because, like, you know how rats and like the little green lizards.
Yep.
If they're in the reverse world, like if a rat's in the dark world, it has the same stats as a lizard and will do 2 hearts of damage. I don't think that's true with the birds. I think they always just kind of retain their normal attribute. Oh god, there's another stall floating through the wall.
Oh, and we saw a wall master. That's always good to avoid those. Those can show up in the worst places. In the race I calmed on Tuesday, there was one at the very top of Cannon's Tower that
oh yeah,
I saw a runner.
I saw. I mean, that's the thing about playing Randomizer is that you just, it happens to you once and then it never happens to you again because you're always ready for it. That's why you'll see a lot of people just like get the cape or get Burna out when they're going up that last room in GT, or people will like slow down if they're in the last room of Ice Palace. The last thing you want to do is get wall mastered out of the end of a dungeon.
So I didn't see if we got any items out of the front of these. I did see a key and a map, so at most we got one, which is bad news because that means there's going to be something in the back that Humbugh's got to decide. Do I go back and check after I kill the boss here, or do I just leave?
It's so tempting to just bail and never come back. Okay, well, we have an Argus. Fighter Sword Argus is not too bad if you... I usually go for the double hook spin.
Yeah.
And you can usually...
He's doing single hook spins. Not too bad. Oh, there we go. There's the double. Or went for it, didn't quite get the second one.
Yeah, well, if you're not quick enough, the first one you hook will always just slightly get away from you, giving you that social distance. Let's see. Alright, but we are on pace to get another crystal over on Humbugh's side. So Humbugh gonna continue to hold on to this lead for Forfeiters Are Us. Now remember, these two teams are in the Hyrule Castle division. They're duking it out for that first place spot. We almost got the quad ice rod to take out Argus, but that's gonna do it. And what is our item? Harpies.
Okay.
So there's, what, 3 items left? 3 chests left in here.
Yeah, and I believe at least 2 items in the back. So we'll have to make a decision. I kind of feel like this is similar to the vanilla left side swamp call. Do I really want to go back in? I mean, it's probably a little bit quicker than that, but I've also seen Thieves Town seems to... like, it feels like every time I see a Thieves Town, when they go to the back, there's like a roller right there waiting for you.
Dude, don't even get me started on rollers in unfortunate locations. They tend to show up. All right. Well, GFE, got to be a little bit careful here. All right. Now that he's in the rage phase, he's going to use his last 3 arrows to finish off this fight.
Oh, calculated.
And he's going to get his first crystal. So. The other interesting thing, though, because we got a small key in the front of Thieves Town, there is a chance that that hammer could be further in that dungeon.
That is right.
And that's, well, that's going to get a yikes for me right there.
Absolutely. I mean, it can't be in the big chest. Normally, that if you go through this and you just leave the big chest, you know you're not going to have to worry about the hammer there. But not an Randomizer, as we don't have to complete the entire dungeon just to get to the boss anymore.
Very well. GFE gonna go right back up the mountain, has the means to exact his revenge on Moldor. Well, he didn't even get to fight Moldor.
Yeah, I think he was just, I mean, to be fair, I believe he was just checking to see what the boss was, so when he came back, he would know what he's facing.
The question is for him, though, is he knows Moldor has an item, but is he gonna try and put off Hera until the very end? Do it, like, you know, go through the Dark World portal, beat Hera, and then go into GT?
I mean, that's the dream, you know? It's so rare that you could do that with Hera, but if you can, it's really nice to just leave Hera, fit your mirror portal, go back into the Dark World, and go straight into GT.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless he finds Hammer up here or something, because you never know. Moldorm could be holding on to that progression that we were looking for. And was in logic as soon as we got that sword and, you know, the other stuff in Kakariko. Just a red boomerang over here from Saving the Blacksmith while we were getting a chance to see what's at Super Bunny. Just a couple of rupees. Nothing too exciting.
But I do like this play overall of checking. You know the powder's there, so that's a nice safety, and it might lead to something. You also know there are 6 items you can get to. You could also do Spike Cave. That'd be a 7th item. And could, like you said, go do Tower Hera right now.
I think it's also one of those cases where it's like, let me go up here while I don't have the ability to go into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So I won't be baited into doing that at all. But yeah, a whole lot of nothing up here so far. Yeah, continues to be a disappointment. We got a bottle over in K45. Wow.
Yeah, second bottle, you know, in a normal seed, you might not pick that up. An Randomizer, I think it's a good safety.
Yeah, I think they're up to 3 at this point, at least based on what the tracker says.
Yeah, humbugh it says 3 there. Yeah, that makes sense because GFE also has just 2.
But yeah, I completely agree. More bottles. We're still on our first row of hearts. We need all the protection we can get. I do like this powder play, like getting this now, because then if and when GFE decides to do Smith Chain, he can route in Magical Bat at the same time. So just keep things efficient. Humbugh doing a cool trick. You want to explain that one, Tracy?
Sure. Something we've learned pretty recently. Apparently, the game still thinks you have the purple chest so long as you stay in the dark world and don't mirror. If you leave it behind, if you mirror close enough to the thief, he'll think you still have it and he'll open it for you and you'll get the item.
Yeah, it's really nice, especially if you have boots, because you can just book it. You can literally leave the chest. You can go grab the chest from its original location and then immediately drop it and run all the way down.
Yeah, super useful if you have boots. Really kind of doesn't matter if you don't have the boots to do it with, because, you know, you're not going any slower. And there's a Master Sword. Finally onto level 2 swords at the Hype Cave. And our 4th bottle. And that one pre-filled with blue goo. So, like that.
Yeah, and I'd be kind of tempted just to be like, well, I think I'm good now. I got 2 blue potions. I think we'll be fine. All right, well, what is next for Humbugh? I'm thinking maybe a Meyer check at this point.
So I find it interesting that even when Moldorm isn't in his normal location, we still get more eyeballs.
Well, I mean, I think that's a pretty good compromise in general. I love it because I think if you just do, even if you do Randomizer but without boss shuffle, you still get Moldorm with more eyeballs. Just because it's funny. Some people will like pop into Discord like, why does my Moldorm have many eyeballs? I didn't do anything. It's like, well, you're welcome. It's great. Ooh, a nice mail.
Yeah, another one of those things. Yeah, it'd be nice to have another one of those extra items and that just means so much more in Randomizer.
Hey, a blue mail. All right, you
don't see that very often.
No, you don't. So I missed it over on Humbugh's side, but I'm getting confirmation from chat that Meyer is going to be the Quake Medallion. So we have the abilities to dive into that dungeon, but without Canis Samaria, not really looking too fun. We'll see it hopefully again on GFE's side, while he's going to grab his red mail and feel very powerful. Yep, yeah, that looks like that looks like Quake. It's like a squiggly line.
And for what it's worth, Desert was boots locked. Not that it matters in this situation. We had the boots. We've had the boots for quite a while.
Yeah, must be nice. Have the boots that long.
And a book in Desert.
Sounds about right. Well, that's that opens up 2 awful checks. There's another heart container.
And for GFE, even more awful, because he's pretty much done all the mountain checks other than Turtle Rock, and I don't believe he did do Spike Cave, so...
Yeah, that actually works out, because then he could go up... Well, he'd have to get
at least
sword
it'd be 2
Hype Cave first. Honestly, kind of surprising. I haven't seen Hype Cave on GFE's side. That's generally a go-to location. But at the same time, you know...
Yeah, without that hammer...
say that Hype Cave ain't hype these days.
Yeah, when you have that hammer... When you don't have that hammer and you have to go all the way from Village of Outcasts to get there... yeah, I can see getting there a little bit later than the typical hammer glove axis, where it's just right there.
Yeah, that's why, for me at least, when it comes to get into the Dark World, I prefer Hammer for Dark World access versus Mitts. Also, because generally Mitts lock out a lot more locations. So
yeah, oh, totally agree.
If I could get Mitts for Go mode more often, I'd be okay with that. There is a the double hit with the roller. That's not good.
Yeah, Mitts is a really nice Go mode, but that was never going to happen here.
There was no ban. Okay, well, the boss of this dungeon will have our second item in here, and of course, at this point, we are looking for Samaria and a hammer. So we might get that hammer Go mode. Either way, we're not going into T-Rock ever, so it's a winning situation right here.
Yeah, nice use of Ether on Humbugh's side.
Yeah, it's really not until you play Randomizer where you learn about the effectiveness of certain medallions on particular enemies. Like, oh, Ether kills Tektites in one hit. It's like, okay, what enemies are frozen? What enemies are insta-killed? What enemies are turned into the little slugs or whatever when you use Quake? Or what enemies are just stunned? One thing I learned is never use Quake on the little turtles in pod. Just don't ever do it. It's not worth. Vanilla, did somebody turn on boss shelf or what? No, we did see Arbos Knights over at Skullwoods. So.
Yeah, it is our second vanilla boss here.
Dude, we might just get all vanilla Light World bosses. It's possible.
Yeah, because the Arbos Knights we've seen them before, but they could show up twice. We'll see if we do get to see all the bosses, which we hope we don't. 3 of them will show up twice.
Yeah, and at this point, our pedestal is unfortunately or fortunately dead at this juncture. Basically because of Turtle Rock. Anytime I see Pendant T-Rock, I'm like, well, pedestal's dead. What a
pretty common.
So yeah, there's a very good chance we will not be seeing all of the bosses. And until we start seeing doubles of bosses, we can't even start ruling some out or start to figure out where some of them are going to be.
I mean, what do we have left? Just Hammer and Samaria. I mean, it would be nice to find another sword. Silvers would be a nice thing to get as well, but...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolute need. We need that Samaria, and we need that Hammer. Oh, and a very nice one-round kill on GFE's side. That was beautiful. Hey, we're in the second row of hearts there, too.
There you go. We're also tied up in crystals at this point, I think. Yeah. Difference, GFE has Hera done, while Humbugh has Thieves Town done. Looks like Humbugh's going to swap places and head up to the mountain. Probably going to go do Tower of Hera as well. Still going to save time, only having to do it in one go and not doing the basement. I'm going to assume Hera Pot is in play for Humbugh as well. While GFE looking to head into Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts, and probably route all the way down to Hype Cave. So I guess at this moment would be, I don't know, probably a good time to talk about some other races we got going on right now. I think there's a race just about to finish up, maybe, or it's still going over on SpeedGaming 5. That's pretty exciting. We got some cool matches going on. We got a lot. Dude, there's so many races today.
Oh, guys. There's like the schedule is crazy.
At least 10. Spaced across like all the SG channels. We got 5. We got 4, 3, 2, 4. A couple on the ALTTPR League channel. That's the ALTTPR League. Very important distinction. Oh no, I'm minimizing the wrong windows. I gotta see my commentary stream. I'm just gonna call out some really exciting ones. We got Dracarius versus Jula Ninja, Clown Parade versus the Immortals. They're both sitting at 9 points apiece. They're going to be duking it out on SG2 at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. That should be exciting. We got Blaine of Error 216 versus Yagamoth of the Sexty
Oh,
Ganon.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be over on, actually, on this channel at 5:10 p.m. So I recommend checking that one out for sure. Honestly, those are like probably the two most hype matchups. There's tons of other ones going on as well across, and I highly recommend checking out the bracket. I don't want to read them out individually just because I'm lazy. But those are the two that stood out the most. I mean, I could also call out my teammates' race later tonight, which is very exciting for me because I feel like this is JP's chance. He's going to get that win. I know it, and I didn't just curse him. I promise. But if I did, you can call me out, JP. It's fine. It's fine. He's not here. Now, here's the real question. Will GFE continue in Thieves Town or not? We could still see some stuff in here.
Maybe a little bit more likely since he's getting here later and has checked more items, but we'll see.
Now, the real question is, Humbug going to read the sign and check how many crystals he needs to get again? Now, that's next week.
Yeah, it's a different format. What's more fun is if you're walking past Cannon's Tower, it just spontaneously opens because you don't know how many crystals you need.
That's great. And it's just funny because like with the lower crystal amounts for GT, you get a different animation. So you walk by it and you're like, all right, let's do this thing. And you're sitting on 7 crystals and only 1 shows up. You're like, oh, I could have done this a long time ago. GFA having a little bit of trouble on this phase 1 of the Argus fight, but takes down the last Argy. I'm gonna pop him with the Fire Rod. I feel like in this scenario, Ice Rod's a little bit better because I think you could just shoot out more Ice Rod shots faster than the Fire Rod, I think. And get that quad, but 2-cycle phase 2, gonna get his heart piece, and that is gonna put him in a crystal lead. Tracy, isn't that exciting?
That is very exciting.
I'm so angry about it.
The question is, what does he do next?
I feel like Hype Cave is too appealing right now.
Okay, we're not going to see the back.
Humbug getting some weird...
Oh my god.
The rarely seen cannon guard. Love it.
Big fan of the cannon guards. Too bad that it's a shame those don't show up in the regular game.
Right? They're so cool. So it looked like Humbug was trying to do the Harapot, but might have... Ooh, oh, jeez. All right, at this point, I just go ahead and try again. I'm assuming what Humbug did was probably powdered the Antifairy and then picked up the heart. If you pick up an item from an enemy, like while it's like in the air, it, for whatever reason, will mess with the trajectory that you get shot when you take a bomb hit, which is why he went in the wrong direction. Or it might have just been not the correct lineup. I don't know. There's so many ways to line up Harapot that it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, using the Quake just to make it so he doesn't have to worry about that ball and chain guard anymore.
You know, if GFE gets to Hype Cave before Humbug finishes, well, probably gonna head up and go do all this. Either way, I mean, we're kind of getting to that point where things are starting to even out a little bit.
Yep.
So...
yeah, I'll see.
It's gonna be interesting.
So what locations? I should say what bad locations have we not gone to? Because there are a lot of them. Back at Thieves Town, Pendant Swamp, Pendant Ice. Like, which one do you go to? None of those. A whole lot of crap locations.
I think at this point you just stick to the Crystal plan and just go do Pod Eastern. Won't be able to finish Pod, but you know, putting off Eastern this long.
We have not seen Eastern at all. Be funny if Eastern turned out to be a hammer. They had to do Aga anyway for the mids, so it won't be the end of the world. Definitely it feels bad if you do Aga and then you find out nope, didn't really have to. But
yeah. Oh gosh.
Eastern Pod. I like the Eastern Pod idea. So get through those first, like you said. Get those crystal dungeons that you can pull clear. Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, we could also dip into Mire looking for Hammer or Samaria. But I mean, when you have crystal dungeons you can clear, I feel like you might as well go for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pod play is a little questionable, but at the same time, if we just find our items that we need in the crystal dungeons we have to do anyway,
yep,
you're gonna save a heck of a lot of time.
And to be fair, Pod is not a great go mode dungeon anyway. So full clearing it and then going back in it and finishing it very quickly is not as bad as certain other dungeons. Like the path to get to the boss, I was about to say Helmasorg, but we don't know who's there. The path to get to the boss is very, very quick if you have to go back in, and it's not common that the big key location is in such a nice place that you just go mode it.
Yeah, the only downside about not being able to clear Pod in the first go is having to run through that hedge maze again.
Oh, absolutely.
Looks like Humbugh didn't actually want to go here.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking Pod for a second. Change it. Where are we going?
Well, he is thinking Pod, but wants to go into the Dark World first.
Gotcha. Right, because no hammer. Can't go that way.
It's so easy to make that mistake. Like, all right, let's go to Pod.
It's one of those things that if you've not made that mistake, you haven't played enough Randomizer.
Exactly. It's like, well, I'm gonna go down to the swap portal, and you open up your menu, and you're like, all right, where's the hammer? Right.
I do feel like mirroring over to Eastern first to get that one done. You know, you can finish that one.
Absolutely.
Maybe probably the better idea. We'll see if that's what he does.
So yeah, the seed's gonna be interesting. I mean, these items that we're looking for could just be conveniently placed here in the dungeons we want to do next, or they could be horrible and be in like Ice Palace. And honestly, at this point, I don't feel like these guys feel like they're behind enough to make like an Ice Palace play right now. So we'll probably see the same play from GFE coming up. I just hope GFE... Well, did he do...
I believe he's got the... I think he's got the purple chest right now.
He does, so that's why he skipped K45. I don't think he did that one yet.
Yeah, if you mirror to do K45, then the purple chest is gone, so... You gotta keep the chest long enough for that.
Alright, well, we are going to see Bombo's tablet here, which is nice. We haven't seen that one. Oh no, he doesn't have a sword yet.
Well, we'll see it.
He should have gone to Hype Capers. But he doesn't know, so... Survey says... Maximum health increase.
That would be a heart container. Which would be nice, but he's not coming back for it.
Now, unfortunately, is he going to have to run back up to check Cave 45, or is he just going to head on over to Hype Cave next? Looks like he's heading over to Hype Cave, so...
Okay. Get his Master Sword.
He checked Cave 45? Oh, okay, well... It still says 2 bottles, so... Just saying. Not my fault. Working with the information I got. Ditch the bottle. All right, listen.
Regardless, shout outs to our tracker, literally Jen.
Yep.
You don't want me tracking. I like to joke that I'm bad at tracking Super Metroid, and there's a lot fewer items there, so.
There's like half as many items in there.
Not even.
There's like a third of the items. See, he has 3 bottles. He did K45. All right, Eastern, boring. Swamp Palace, exciting.
Oh,
okay.
Boy.
This is a really crazy play.
Well, there are some runners that'll say, if I have the items to go into Pendant Swamp, I'm going to go in there, because there's a reason why I got them all, so. We'll see.
A lot of time spent for one item, but this is like a Hail Mary. It's not really a Hail Mary, because this doesn't lose you that much time. It's still relatively quick. But it's like... I mean, this would be like just checking Magic Bat. That's like the same length, pretty much. Look at all these frozen guards. Kind of creepy. See ya. I haven't seen this play work out yet, this tourney. Is today the day? No.
Not so far. Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Can't go any further. That's just not even a bad item. Like, it's just a map.
It's just a map. It tells you nothing. There's a chicken in this Eastern Palace who is not affected by ether. Well, because of the way GFE routed, he's gonna have to go through Dark Lake Hylia to get up to Palace of Darkness, but this will work out for him. I guess technically he could just save and quit to get put on the pyramid, but at this point, the difference in timing is probably pretty slim, pretty minimal. See, just drop it. Here's the cool thing. If you just use Ether, all those things die instantly. Regardless if they're on screen or not. Or you can switch and use Hookshot, and Hookshot where they are, where they land. It'll kill them too. And we get our second land molas, so that is one boss that's off the table now.
Doesn't quite get the one round, but we'll finish the land mola last worm off very quickly there. And did we see nothing in Eastern?
Nothing.
Nothing in Eastern. But Yoshi's perfectly happy anyway because he's got another crystal.
He's so excited. Alright, well, that puts Humbugh back in the lead, crystal count-wise, with 5. GP heading into pod first.
Interesting. Well, we know there's nothing in Eastern, so if he finds what he needs in pod, won't have to take quite as long in Eastern. So the runners will be going into pod at the same time.
Well, if pod's not the answer, I mean, at this point, I guess you would kind of hope for at least finding Samaria, because then you can just head to the next crystal dungeon and clear that.
Yeah. Oh, you definitely want to find Samaria first. Like, Hammer just keeps you. There's so many things that Hammer keeps you out of.
No T-Rock, no more of Swamp, portions of Ice Palace, Spike Cave, Hammer Pegs.
Yep.
That one chest in Thieves Town, just to name a few. And I actually hope that Hammer's just chilling in Thieves. That would be hilarious.
Although I will point out, with only Samaria and Hammer needed, we're not going to Turtle Rock no matter what, because they're both those items gated. So
yep,
that's at least some good news.
As fantastic news. I'd be so ecstatic if I was in this situation. Well, not currently looking for a Hammer or Samaria, but just the concept of not having to go to
right
Rock at all is nice. Well, we haven't seen either of the. Well, we haven't seen any items in the front yet. I think we've just seen keys so far. Generally,
that's pod. I think we saw a map or something, but yeah.
Oh, we did see a map?
I think so.
Map.
But pod being pod so far. I mean, you're guaranteed 4 keys in the front, so you're not going to get a whole lot else. Or you get 10 bombs. I mean.
All right, 4 more to go at this point. It's frustrating because usually there's always at least 2 non-keys in the front of pod, but every now and then there's 5, and you like get everything. You're like, I only got 1 item. What the heck? Sometimes I feel like there's very, very rare scenario of getting 6 keys in the front, but I might be making that up.
It does happen. I think I've seen it once or twice. It's pretty rare.
Wow, double Stalfos Knights on the Falling Burps, that's it?
Wow.
That's all you got?
Oh, hello, Iburps.
Whenever I play Randomizer, it's always a big yellow spike. Or the worst is the tiny little blade trap right up at the top, right in front of the pod. You always have to, like, take damage to go pick up a pod there. If you don't have Cape or Burna. It's great. It's very funny.
I believe that's all our keys, so we're going to have items in these other locations. Nice spike ball there.
Yeah, it's impossible not to take damage in that room, it seems. If anything, that's always like an Antifairy or a Mini Molder that just goes right at you at the start. Alright, 3 items remain in this dungeon, and if we find a compass, it's going to put 1 on Helma. What do we got? Mushroom.
Mushroom, oof.
It's not bad when you got that.
Just, yeah, hopefully it's not Mushroom to Hammer to come back here. That'd be pretty mean.
Right.
Although we're gonna have to come back anyway, unless we have a vanilla Hammer coming up.
The rare vanilla hammer. Item or compass? What's it gonna be? It's a heart piece. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it.
We could hear it. Well, so pod not the answer. So we're back to our crappy checks. Well, we already checked Swamp. So we have Hammerless Ice Palace. We're not going to go to Turtle Rock. So we have Hammerless Ice Palace and Samarialess Mire. Ouch.
Yep. Yeah, that's the nice thing is we don't have to worry about Pyramid Fairy. We have all the other crystals. Except those two. Yeah, with that, Humbug is in the driver's seat of the seed right now. Of course, it is still coming down to that coin flip of Ice versus Mire. Or the answer could
back
be
of
right
thieves.
Here. Nope.
No.
Just a heart container. Yeah, back
and
of thieves too.
Yeah, don't forget that back of thieves.
Oh, I'm just ready for Hammer to be there. It'd be funny. But yeah, this would be a tough decision to make. Like, okay, do I make these plays? I feel like I like this play going straight for Mire.
I do too.
You go towards the next crystal dungeon and hope that you find either the means to complete that crystal dungeon, or Hammer could be in here. So.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario, Samaria's in here. You just finish it now. Worst case scenario, you clear it out, but when you come back, you'll be able to go straight to the back, and it'll be very quick to redo it because you'll already have the big key. You're not going to leave here without finding that big key first. Wow, this is quite the entrance set of enemies.
Alright, what's in Mire 2? It's like a bunch of the little shadow... Oh, wow, a lot of them. Yeah, just drop an ether and just take them all out.
Yeah, so probably a little faster.
It's like watching ants run across your screen.
To be fair, you're safe in here. You're not going to get killed, but yeah, just doing that ether has got to be faster.
Alright, well, Mire has 2 items that we are looking for. Gotta find that big key, too, for later. I feel like we're gonna see that Hammer or that Samaria. Could see just Shovel or, nothing. Humbug also does have that Bombos tablet still on their mind as well. And I don't know...
Oh, there it is.
There's Samaria, okay.
Okay, Hammer go mode.
Dude, if Hammer's just in here too, it'd be perfect.
That'd be amazing.
Unless you're a Spherefinity fan, then you're probably like, please no, put it somewhere dumb. Oh, and
there's
the big key. Dude, you go for it.
Yeah, finish the dungeon, hope the items on Vidi, or on whatever boss may be there instead.
I feel like in this scenario, the boss item has to be a small key, but I could be wrong. At least that's what my mind would be thinking, like, it's probably small.
Yeah, the extent of my Mire key logic understanding is if there's a small key in the compass chest, there's a big key in the vanilla spot. I figured out Ice Palace. I thought that was a pretty good...
I ain't touching that logic, and I refuse. Who needs logic when you can just Icebreaker now?
Oh, there you go. It does give you one more chest you can check in Ice Palace, but it's not going to have the hammer.
I'm so frustrated about this lack of ether usage from both these runners, but it's fine. I've played a lot of Mystery Seeds, so I've gotten used to I don't ever just play straight up Randomizer, but I've played enough Mystery Seeds that I've learned all the stupid scenarios to be put in. So, but with that, GFE's gonna get their 5th crystal, tie things up, and it's gonna come down to he's gonna go turn that mushroom. But then the question is, Ice Palace or Mire for GFE?
Oh, hello, Blind.
That's a precarious location to be in, Blind. Get out of the soup!
Yeah, I like Humbug's choice of using the cane there. Just let Blind go ahead and run into those blocks.
I also like that Blind is wearing, it's matching with the dungeon color. It's great.
Yeah, fun fact, the very, very first Link to the Past Randomizer seed I ever played had a forced Cane of Samaria Blind fight.
Nice. Dude, those are fun. Those happen a lot too if you do like inverted. You'll get like burn a blind or something. It's definitely something you gotta be ready for. So you never know when it's gonna show up in a tourney match.
And there's that key you thought you were gonna get.
I knew
you
it.
called it.
There's got to be some logic to that. All right, well, it looks like GFE is heading up to just check Ether tab before making that decision. We're still looking for a lot more bosses. We haven't seen a Vitreous yet, or a Cold Stare, or a Trinex, or a Helmasaur.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of doubles.
Yeah,
oh wait, and we haven't. I don't think we've seen Spike Cave either. So that we can't do Spike Cave. Goddamn, no hammer. So it's not gonna be there.
Nice try. I almost fell for it too. But I was like, no. Not happening.
Late hammer just does something to you. I swear. I don't care whether I'm playing or commentating. It just does something to you. And just some bombs over there on the Ether tablet.
Ether. Alright, I'll stop. It's just not happening.
Okay.
We are still looking for this second item in Misery Mire as GFE is making the play, so these two players are going to be somewhat evening up, at least.
It may come down to that hammer location, and we've talked about a few places where it could be. Still could be in the rest of this Mire area.
Thieves. Back to Thieves.
Willard's doing his vote.
I'm going to be disappointed. Don't be hammer.
At least, hey, it's the item, so he's done. He just gets to leave.
It's not the hammer. And that's
he was thinking about going over to the right side area where you have the big chest and the one other small chest, but fortunately decided to go to the compass chest and found an item. Is done. And let's see what the decision is. Looks like Thieves.
Back to Thieves.
Yeah, looks like Thieves.
We did see Magic Bat already. It was nothing. One thing I wanted to point out, which is really fun to see from GFE's side, is despite the enemies being invisible, GFE already knew that there was going to be an enemy there and just hook-shotted blindly and killed one of the little shadow creatures just from, experience playing the game, know that generally there's a Popo in that spot. So just having that game knowledge, and that's great. It's good to see.
GFA gets his king, what does he decide to do?
Yeah, I could easily see him do the same thing. Get that big key, just head straight for the back. And, if Thieves Town is the wrong answer and it's actually ice, and GFE goes straight for ice, and maybe skips that other item in here, though I can't imagine at this point in the seed skipping any checks.
No, I agree.
We're so close. We just need one more item. And nobody wants to go to Ice Palace, obviously. Otherwise, we would have been there already. It's a really exciting match. Of course, these two, as I said before, are duking it out for that first place spot.
Nice spike placement in that first room.
Just perfectly spaced. No big deal.
Exactly.
There's a
compass.
We only have one check left that we could do in here.
Yeah, the hammer's not going to be in the big chest.
No. That'd be a broken game.
That would be.
I guess all things considered, this isn't really that slow of a check compared to, like, clearing Ice Palace.
Well, the first chest at Ice Palace is pretty darn quick. So if that were your hammer, it's not too bad. But once you get past that, and trying to route without hammer just is not fun.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if we also get like the small key in the first chest, because that would put Icebreaker actually in play. Otherwise, you're just gonna get locked on the right side without the hammer. And
there it is. Oh, you called it. You got it.
It was there the whole time. That's amazing.
See, this is why I don't like Pendant Thieves Town. There's always something in the back there, and I always leave it behind. Just like Humbug and GFE there. Yeah, good point. That was Crystal Thieves Town, but Crystal Thieves Town and Randomizer may as well be Pendant Thieves Town for the back.
This is why you don't like Crystal Randomizer Thieves Town. I got it, Tracy. I get it.
All right, let's go finish up Pod.
Yeah, Humbug. First in go mode right around the 117, which all things considered is a really good time to be one crystal away from go
for sure.
mode. But at the same time, all of our pendant dungeons are dead, and no one's going to be going there. No. Now, the other thing to consider is we're still on Master Sword.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and we're not touching any more of those pendant dungeons. So if there are swords there, we're not getting them.
Oh, thank you, GFE. He heard me.
There you go.
He got the news.
But yeah, I mean, we've only seen one item in a pendant dungeon, so
that was so quick. It was so quick. I love it.
Ether's a great item.
It's very nice.
Oh, and unfortunately, GFE is going to check these right side items first. Going to get keys and dungeon items.
Unfortunately, you can only check that one since this one is locked by the switches. So, unless he goes and hits the switch on the left side and then checks like the middle and then this one or something.
Don't do that.
Now, I'm pretty sure both these players are capable of Master Sword Silverless. I'm also pretty sure that neither of them want to do Master Sword Silverless.
That would be my... Oh, no, GFE, no.
The thing. That's fair. That's fine.
Okay, this spot's fine. This spot's fine.
Oh, is he doing it? He's doing a little... Oh, nope. He's trying to do some of that door state shenanigans.
Oh, I haven't seen this one yet.
I haven't either. Oh, there we go. All right, well, this is losing him time, but still pretty cool. That was exciting. I hadn't actually seen that one in action, aside from just watching clips of it. Who'd have thought something as silly as that just existed for all this time, and we didn't know about it until, like, a couple months ago. It's kind of crazy to think about. And, of course, that is allowed by the rule set currently. And we got a Vitreous at Pod, so we at least get to see one of these guys. And I really like this strat from Humbug.
Oh,
one of the cool things, use the cape. If you slash repeatedly, your magic reduction gets shortened, or it's not as much, which is even better when you have half magic. So you can basically just sit there, wail until all the small ones die, and then shoot 8 arrows to finish it off.
Yeah, and every time you hit the main eyeball, it actually damages it too. So you have maybe fewer arrow shots here to finish him off.
Wow, that was weird. It seemed like Vitreous' eyeball just was refusing to take any knockback for some of those arrows.
Okay, so that is crystal number 7. You know what that means?
Oh, snap! It means we gotta go to GT. And you know what's in GT, Tracy?
Oh, I have no idea what's in GT.
Why, we gotta go find ourselves a Ganon's Tower big key. So we got 22 chest item locations coming up in Ganon's Tower, and in one of those, it's gonna be that big key that we need to get upstairs so we can go find out what boss is up there, and then kick Agatu's...
You mean Ganon's Tower has a big key just like everything else? Oh, awesome. Let's go find it.
I don't know why we don't play this game for every dungeon. It could be... I know exactly why we don't do it. Yeah, get your guesses in chat. Words, and we'll stop the game once we get up there. If you get it right, you get some arbitrary points. If you're into that,
you get bragging rights.
Bracket rights?
Bragging.
Oh.
GFE at least making the right choice of going into Thieves Town instead of into Ice Palace, though. There's that.
Well, the thing is, as soon as both these players find this hammer, they're like, well, I lost.
Yeah, pretty much.
There is no... But here's the thing. Had they got that hammer earlier, we would have had seen potentially a very different seed. Or a very different route. Because something like the hammer changes how you play the game. Like, you know, GFE could have done all of Swamp Palace, if you so choose. It would have been a completely different game, which is really one of the interesting things about this randomizer is just how your route can change based on a single item like that. So they're probably thinking, oh, I'm behind, but at least I didn't do swamp. At least I didn't do ice. Etc., etc. So it's fun to watch.
All right, let's go.
Wow. Simultaneous as Jiffy gets that hammer and is continuing. I'm just gonna go see this last item over the big chest.
Maybe he wants to. Maybe if it's a sword or silvers. That's about the only thing you could want right now.
Bombs.
But nope, just bombs.
I mean, we know where both players are at. GFE might not be feeling that far behind, sitting at an hour and 23 minutes, that he can afford to check a couple extra chests. I think at this point, you say, well, I'm just hoping GT has what I need. Because, you know, it's the only dungeon that you still have to, like, open up chests actively looking for a big key. It's the best time to find a sword or silvers. But we could be seeing a Master Sword Silverless Seed today.
Okay, we are at number 6 and number 7. Still don't see a big key. As Humbugh does the beginning of the Dark Magician route. No doubt going to run right through Tile Room. I actually like this route a lot better in Randomizer. Just because if you can avoid the boss there, I mean, we haven't seen Trinex. I mean,
no,
that could
he's gonna be somewhere.
And that's a place he could be.
Yeah, if he's not there, he could be at Lamolus too. That'd be about it. Otherwise, well, or a dungeon that we're never going to.
Right.
But at least in this dungeon.
But
the
not
last
knowing
thing you want is Master Sword Ice Trinex.
yeah. Not knowing what enemy you're gonna face in that ice room. Maybe a little bit better to just go ahead and do this route. We still haven't seen the big key, and what are we at? So that was 11, I believe, so far? If I'm doing my math correctly.
Yep. That sounds right. Now, Humbugh has a pretty tremendous lead at this point. All it would take is a Wallmaster at the top of GT, and maybe, I don't know, a weird big key location.
There are more things that can happen at Randomizer to screw him up, for sure.
I think Wallmasters should not be legally allowed to chill in particular rooms.
I'd be okay with that.
Like a whitelist or a blacklist, whatever. Because that's just, boy, that just sucks.
Oh my god, the enemies in this room.
I know we definitely had that happen in a race yesterday. I don't know if that was like a deciding factor of who won the race, but I think it would have been a closer race had it happened. But
well, the one I did on Tuesday would not have changed the outcome, but yeah, it would have been a lot closer.
It's been kind of the exciting thing about this tournament. We've had a lot of races decided at Ganon, and it's really exciting to see because it just means that the competition is fierce and well balanced.
There it is. I believe that was 15. Hopefully our tracker literally has
15.
15. Okay, 15. Chat's not correcting me, so I'm sure I got it then. And shoutouts to Velanoth, the winner of the Ganon's Big Tower Key guessing game, scoring 27 points and a whole lot of bragging rights.
Congrats on doing the bare minimum to get recognition.
There we go. There's your ether.
Okay, Humbugh. Thank you. Well, we are going to see that Master Sword Silvers, and
yeah, we have 4 more chests you can check on the way up, and if not, well, we are looking at Master Sword Silver. It's probably a sword in Swamp and a sword in TR or something.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame we'll never know. It'd be kind of interesting if we had like some way, not necessarily a spoiler log, but it would be just interesting to have the information about where stuff was after the scene's over.
For sure.
But at the same time, a very good chance it's going to be in one of the 3 pendant dungeons we never went into. Because, I mean, T-Rock has 5 items plus the 6th one at Mimic Cave. Swamp has 6 items plus a 7th one at Green Pendant. Ice Palace has 3. Ice Palace is trying. It's trying its darndest.
And all those Hammerlock locations that we never got to, like Spike Cave and Hammer Pegs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if GFE goes Hope Room and then full left, things will even up a little bit more.
Yeah, that would definitely be a faster route. Not going to save him as much time as some of the other different route divergences can, but we'll see what he does.
GFE accidentally going in the wrong cave. The cave being a shop, which is not where you want to go, but I think some other things for people are used to just going to the T-Rock portal to get to GT, but if you never opened it up, then it's probably slightly slower than just going through here. We're almost an hour and a half in. I'm pretty sure GFE knows that this is an entrance shuffle. But you never know. Dude, imagine like a Plando scene where right at the last second, just one entrance has been shuffled. Oh, and it was the Triforce room the whole time. Ah, that'd be hilarious. Ha ha ha. It's like I almost speak from experience. Yay, Ether! Hooray!
A lot of very good use of Ether from Humbug on his way up Gannon's Tower.
I gotta say, use Ether. Yay! But
Yay.
I gotta say, though, surprisingly, there hasn't really been that much potion usage throughout. And there's a Mothula, our first one,
that's
I
not
believe.
bad.
And it looks like GFE is following the same route, left, right, left, probably. Wanting to skip that Ice Armos. So, not going to be able to make up much time. Now, here's the interesting thing. I mean, Humbug has a pretty significant lead. I can't imagine GFE will continue checking anything extra here in GT looking for a sword outside of what we've already seen. But, oh, so that's what the platforms look like. The Morian? No. I already did it, but that's funny. You just kind of get used to like walking through it blind, but then Randomizer throws some weird enemy at you that you can't hit. It has a lot of health, and you're like, how do I get to you? Come to me, please. I'll use Ether. Yay!
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop.
Little sad that we don't get to do the these Wizard rooms with the cane the way you normally would. That's one of my favorite strats to watch.
Oh yeah, it's really satisfying. Yeah, this has been probably one of the easiest gauntlets in Randomizer I've ever seen. Now, if Half Magic or Ether wasn't in play, then yeah, probably a slightly different story.
Well, certainly
still be easy,
slower.
just slow.
Yeah, very slow.
I can't imagine Humbug not checking all 4 chests up here. Getting a look for Dash Sword or Dash Silvers. Nope, 10 arrows. Nope, never piece.
You have 2 more shots at one of those items.
Bomb slug. Oh,
nope.
10 arrows. Alright, last chance. The very last
who are we
chest
gonna
of
see
the video
here?
game. And we get Cold Stare.
Cold Stare! Oh, God.
A great place for this guy.
And make you use up all that magic you just picked up with that one pot.
Ooh, that looks really nice. Some nice splash damage from this Fire Rod. Man, I can't believe we got Ice Rod. We never got to use it on Trinex. What a shame.
So I'm pretty certain we have some blue potions somewhere. I remember we did pick one up that was blue. He's gonna have to use it. Nice shuffle. That could be a sword, but we're not gonna see it.
If I ever had an opportunity to say, got him, it's right now. Got him. Hey, we found all the fetch quests, but only 2 swords. Alright. Now, people probably asking, hey, can we switch to Humbug's audio? He's in the lead. Well, unfortunately, we don't have audio for Humbug, so you're stuck with GFE. Get over it. I'm not trying to make friends here, Tracy.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's having some. I believe he's having some tech difficulties with that sound. So we're gonna. Fortunately, we do get to listen to GFE's side. Who finds his big key and will make his way up Ganon's tower.
Alright, not a bad Ag 2. Humbug gonna be heading into this Ganon fight.
With a whole lot of sword spins, because all we got is a Master Sword.
Yeah, so here's the deal. With Master Sword, it's 12 spins the first phase, 12 spins for the second, 4 spins for the third phase, and then 24 spins for the last one. So it's really not that hard. It's just it's a true test of patience.
Oh, for sure.
And magic usage.
Yeah. Probably gonna try and hold on to that blue bottle until he gets to that point where he actually has to light the torches. I'm gonna definitely want to get torch glitch here. For
sure. And here's the thing. This is a long fight. And if you fall down, take a Ganon fall, or something goes horribly wrong, like halfway into the last phase, that's a lot of time loss. So
yeah, it sure is.
I generally don't want to wish that upon anyone, so I'm not even gonna discuss it too much, other than it's a possibility. But this is Humbug's game to lose at this point. Just has to execute well and play patiently.
Yep, gonna go ahead and use that bottle now.
Really thinking about it. Wanting to use the cape strats here, since Ganon gave Humbug a pretty fortunate
it looked like he might have had a second bottle there. I'm not sure. Second blue bottle, which will allow him to use this cape a little bit more. He's gonna have to save some magic for the torches.
Might have bought one after turning in the mushroom.
Yeah.
That would have been a good time to do it. Alright, well, that's the end of phase 2. Pretty nice phase 1 and 2. Not incredibly fast, and no Samaria strats, so I'm disappointed. But overall, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I would assume that Humbug has to have another potion, otherwise, might not have enough magic to finish this off. It's gonna be kind of close. In the Dark World, man, I wonder where that could be.
Not a whole lot we didn't check.
Probably Hammer Pegs.
Yeah, Hammer Pegs or Spike Cave. Oof.
Alright. Chief, you take down Mothiel and Atlamel is 2. Humbug 2 out of 24 spins into this phase for Ganon.
Yeah, and if you can time it right with your relighting of the torch, you can get 3 spins per lighting. It looks like that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and based on the fact that he's using the fire rod, he definitely has a blue potion.
Oh, for sure. Gonna have to use it now.
We didn't hear it, but I heard it. I heard that.
Oh, and how he did not fall. Yeah, very nicely done not falling there, because that fire bat hit right into him.
The fire bats are interesting because they reverse your controls when they hit you. So if you're ever going to get hit by a fire bat in the middle of this fight, just drop all your inputs. Just take it. Unless you're going to die, then probably do something other than just taking it. But it's better to be down a couple hearts than to take a Ganon fall, because that's slow. It's kind of crazy, GFE is probably going to be at Cold Stare by the time Humbug finishes, but just how long this fight is when all you have is a Master Sword. But Humbug doing pretty well. I feel like he's getting a couple triples along the way. At this point, it's exciting to say that Forfeiters Are Us looking like they're going to take this game 1 in this game, for this week. And will be momentarily taking first place in their division. Humbug takes down the pig. Man, where are those swords?
That's a really good question.
That's a very good question. All right, once he walks through that door, we will be finished with this race.
Humbug finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:37.08.
Get your GGs in chat. Did you like that bow placement? Which one?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I feel like Humbug probably led pretty much the entirety of this race. The things that slowed GFE down the most was his routing and mire. That Swamp Palace check, despite it being not, too lengthy, since it was just the first item check, that was still enough to give Humbug even more of a lead. Those are the two things that stand out the most.
Yeah, and it felt like it took a little bit longer for GFE to get over to AGA 1. So that's, I think, when Humbug took the lead. Who is joining us?
Yo. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi. Yo, GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
Yeah, thanks.
So, walk us through your thought process. Your where were you mentally when you grabbed that hammer out of Thieves Town for go mode?
With it being my last location outside of Swamp Palace, first chest and all of ice. I think it was my last location out of those. It felt kind of both good and bad. I imagined that GFE wouldn't wanna risk dipping back at Thieves Town without the hammer in the first place. So I guess I thought actually that he had done the same. The cane though, about that I had just waited on that for so long. But with the hammer being where it was, I wasn't. I mean, it felt all right.
Well, hammer go mode keeps you out of a lot of really crappy locations. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about, had either of you gotten the hammer early, like your first time into Thieves Town, we might have had a very different seed play out, especially with the fact that Swamp and Ice, as far as we know, had nothing but maybe a sword. That's about it. So it was very interesting. You guys kind of followed each other, or I'd say Humbug, you led pretty much the entirety of this race with GFE following your footsteps pretty closely. GFE.
Yeah, I would agree.
There was three things that really solidified your lead. GFE going into Hera the first time he was up on Death Mountain and doing Tile Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Not having a sword, so not being able to even kill Moldorm, so I had to double dip that.
Doing tile room in Hera, you mean?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I felt kind of good about my early routing. I put off the dungeons as much as I could, just to be able to kill every boss when I finally got in there. And when when I got the fire rod, I think that I was able to kill every boss that I could come upon.
Yeah, we never. Once we saw fire rod and hookshot, we were good to go because we never saw a Trinex. So we did have one Argus. I think that was the one that was at Thieves Town.
Yeah, it was the second. That was the second boss I took down.
Yeah, so that's generally kind of a rule when it comes to Randomizer. You want to try and clear as much of the overworld, at least until you have the ability to kill every single potential boss. Just because there's nothing worse than going into a dungeon and having to leave because you don't have that one item that you needed. Haha. So I felt like routing-wise, you guys played pretty good, pretty clean, solid routing, given how late this hammer was. I guess it felt good. Had we seen like an earlier mire check, like the first time you got in there? Because as soon as you got there, I think you had access to.
Well, yeah.
The cane was right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it definitely crossed my mind that maybe I should dip mire at this point, but I had Eastern not cleared at all. That was
and those are crystal dungeons.
Yeah, those were crystal dungeons, and Eastern was a sphere 1 location. So, I mean, hammer or cane could definitely been there, especially since apparently it was an Aga seed in 2 ways.
Yeah.
So I maybe thought that the hammer was in Eastern, and that was my true Dark World access in some sense. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually surprised to see the glove when we did, because I was like, you see the cape, you see a sword, you're like, all right, we're gonna have Aga Tower, and then that glove that's at Lumberjack is gonna be our first one. And I was like, nope, just kidding. And, well, now we might just find the hammer and just can go to Dark World without having to do Aga yet.
Like, what goes through your mind?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. What goes through your mind when you find that? I know what goes through my mind when I find that glove right there on the Lumberjack. But
I mean, honestly, I got kind of happy since with Randomizer and all, and well, I mean, this seed was very, very kind to us with the Randomizer shuffle, with the enemy shuffle. There was I saw one Lionel, I think, but with the glove being there, I knew that the boots would be early. And boots and a sword. Well, we didn't find a sword for a while, but boots makes Randomizer so much nicer. So I was kind of happy that I saw progression on Lumberjack. To be fair.
All right, there we go. GFE finishes off Ganon.
Never saw those swords. GFP did check the big chest in Thieves Town after getting hammer, but it was only bombs.
Yeah. And
Oh, that was a thing, yeah.
Finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:43.28. GG to GFE.
GG's. What a good race. It was a lot of fun.
Honestly,
yeah, I felt like Randomizer didn't really affect this race that much for the most part, other than because like Moldarm was vanilla in Tower of Hera, so GFE went up there without a sword. So I was like, oh, this is vanilla.
I mean, you wouldn't have been able to kill anything there, so you're just going to figure out what's there. So
if there was one thing, if there's anything that I yelled at you guys the most about, it was about
you did
using ether to kill the little shadow dudes. And you guys finally realized when, especially when every room had at least one, and I'm like, just use ether. Like there was the back of Eastern.
It kind of became a theme.
But I wanted to
GFE.
some magic. Hey GFE.
I like my hook shot.
I mean,
Let me use my hook shot, Willard.
You're fine. You can use it. It has other uses. But
I mean, I could have had a cold stare in the next room in Eastern. So.
But you had half magic, I think.
Yeah, but still.
No, it's a fair thought process. You never know what boss is going to be where. But anyway, GFE, GG's, man. This was a fun race to watch.
Yeah, GG.
I asked Humbugh, so I have to ask you what was going through your mind when you finally pulled Hammer out of Thieves Town.
I mean, considering where Kane was, what went through my mind was actually, I hope Humbugh found this before Kane and dipped Swamp.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's exactly what went through my mind. Because at that point I knew that it was bad because, like, I know me and Humbugh talked a little bit already, and he mentioned he only had to single dip Hera, which I went up there without any weapon to kill Moldorm at least, which too many easy and vanilla bosses in this Randomizer, actually. And then when I couldn't kill the boss, I knew there was still an item, so I was like, I'm just gonna gamble that it's in the basement. So wasted a minute for a map. So that didn't feel too good.
Yeah, and of course I already asked this of Humbugh, but those gloves on Lumberjack, what's your thought process when you see that?
When I see gloves on Lumberjack, I usually automatically assume that's going to be my myth, which was correct in this seed, because I feel like I've only seen that maybe, I don't know, a handful of times since I've been playing Rando, and only one time has it been my logical glove, like first glove.
Yeah, pretty common that you end up having to use the Aga for Dark World as well when you see those gloves there. It's also really nice when you know you have to do it, as opposed to certain other items where it's like, shovel on Lumberjack. Uh-oh.
I'm a big fan when I see a required progression item on Lumberjack, because it's like early boots, early sword, and my opponent has to do this.
Yep, and you
So
know
if
you
I
have
can
to
do
do
it
it.
faster, then I save a couple seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I I mean, I know where looking at the time difference, it seemed like a lot when I first looked at it, but I mean, I checked first chest to swamp, those Hera plays, that stupid death in Zora's domain, but I'm so glad I went straight back.
That was rough.
It was.
Well, that stupid the crab wouldn't get out of my way.
And then the Beamos just out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yep.
Too many Beamos this.
Yeah, and then routing in Meyer was also a little costly to get that second item.
Oh, I did Humbug? Did he YOLO the boss?
How did you?
You both went straight to the boss after Kane and beat
Okay.
you. But when he went back in,
Gotcha.
went straight to the compass chest and got the item right away.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I did big chest, and then I did lobby chest, and then I had to show off the Meyer clip, so I did that to get over
Yeah,
to that
we
time
appreciate that. That was really cool.
So you did it, right?
I was sad I didn't get it first try. I've been getting it first try in practice every time.
But you got it. That's what matters.
It's funny because it
That
was cool
awesome.
to see, but it was also losing time.
Yep.
I mean, if the item had been in that other chest, it wouldn't have lost time if I got it the first try at least.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, so once again, this is the Hyrule Castle Division. Forfeiters Are Us is going to take a 1 point or a 3 point lead
Yep.
over Sphere Sanity and just in the division in general, taking that first place spot for the time being. But these two have these two teams have another matchup later this week. Dataplet of Forfeiters Are Us will be taking on Sabotender of Sphere Affinity, which should be an exciting match. I know Sabo is in chat already, very excited based on the emote that he posted.
Yeah, I believe that's tonight actually. So I'm looking forward to Sabo getting those points back.
Awesome. I really like these teams doing like both their races in the same day. I know. I think they were trying to do their race yesterday, but had some tech issues. But it's fun because then you could just immediately go see what happens next in the next race, and y'all better go see what happens next in the next race. I've been yelling a lot. Blame Tracy,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Our division. Our division, Hyrule Castle Division, is really close. Before this race, apparently we had 6 teams on 9 points each.
Yep.
So this is going to be close.
Yeah, it's honestly a lot closer than I was expecting. I mean, there were a few names I wasn't very familiar with, so it's good to know that there's other players out there who are getting into it thanks to the league.
That's the crazy thing. There's a ton of hidden bosses in this league. People that I've never seen before taking names and getting wins. I'm like, and I've never seen they just did their first SRL race for this tourney. It's like that's insane and kind of terrifying. But that's kind of what's great about this game. It's very inviting. If you're interested and new to the game and want to start racing, I mean, there's always season 3. Stu. But yeah, GG's again to both you guys. This was a fun race to watch and commentate. We of course have more tourney action going on across several channels today. I believe, what time is it? Over on SpeedGaming 2, we got Dracarys versus Julo Ninja. I'll be starting up relatively soon, so you won't want to miss that. And then an hour from now, we have that Boyne versus Yagamoth race. Definitely go check that out. GFE, Humbug, if you guys have any final words about the scene or just in general, that doesn't count.
Oh gosh.
I'll just give another
I love
GGs.
that.
I'll give another GGs to Humbug. I mean, I'm kind of cursed against Humbug, it seems. I can never route better than him anytime we play one-on-one like this. But really appreciate you guys with the commentary. And to our tracker, literally Jen. And the whole Speed Gaming crew and everybody that comes out to watch these. It's crazy just how many of these that are being able to be restreamed because of all the volunteers.
Yeah, seriously. Shoutouts to
absolutely.
all the volunteers.
Oh, go
ahead.
Yeah, I can only echo what GV said, and just keep on watching these races. And apparently the races that will go on, that keep on coming tonight, is going to be really hot. It sounded like, at least.
Yeah, 100%. Should be a good set of matches for the rest of this week, finishing out this Randomizer week. Of course, we do have Mystery Week coming up next week. That week will be a fun week. This has been a fun race. Thank you guys for racing and letting us yell at you. Literally, Jen, thank you so much for literally being a great tracker. Appreciate it. Of course, thank you all the folks at SpeedGaming and the Random League for putting on this fun match. And thanks, Tracy, for commentating with me.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure, Willard.
I
was looking forward to this one.
I'm glad I didn't oversleep.
Me too.
All right, guys. Head on over to SpeedGaming, whatever, and go watch something. I've been Willard J. Bradley. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yep, have fun. Go tune. Like Willard said, go tune into the next one, and we'll see you next time.